Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck, you suck, I suck at Call of Duty.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
Iain Bruce,
Patrick Kay,
and Adam Scott. Hello.
You can contact us on email at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. So, shall we talk about some games we've actually been playing then?
Oh, if we must.
I suppose the biggest one to have come out since we were last talking about stuff would have to be
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, surely.
We can
Sorry. Hearthstone.
Well, okay, we can go with that if you like.
No,
I have certainly.
For fuck's sake, just get on with it.
Let's turn the lights out.
No, it's Grand Theft Auto 5 has finally come to PC after a very, very long wait, almost 18 months, and I've not sunk as many hours into it as I would have liked to by now, mainly because of just other things like Elite, and I still haven't finished Pillars of Eternity, and yeah, I might have a bit of a Hearthstone addiction as well, but yeah, you've certainly been playing a lot of it, haven't you, Iain? The online part of it?
I've probably played 12 hours, maybe less. Yeah, I've been playing with friend of the show, Radders, and he's working through the single player, and he's enjoying that very much. The same, we talked about it when the PS3 version came out.
I think it was on the first show.
I'm pretty sure it was, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the same, basically. Looks better, looks prettier, more frames for your buck.
How's it running for you?
It's running really well. I'm not sure it's on Ultra, but I could probably put it on Ultra and it would still... the frame rate would be acceptable.
I quite like the way that options work. There's that little green bar. I've just basically done it so that my bar is green, and I think all I had to do was turn the MSAA down a bit and the shadows.
Yeah, GTA 4 had the same system.
Oh, did it? I played that back in the day when I was a console heathen.
Okay.
But it looks really good, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting like 60 frames per second most of the time, even in the most busy areas.
Yeah.
I put it on the other day. To be honest, although I haven't had a lot of time to play it, I have like sort of just before bedtime, I have occasionally just switched it on and just put my foot down.
Yeah.
And just put my foot down and just gone as far as I can.
Yep.
And I'm driving for hours, and I'm going out of the city, and I'm in the countryside, and it's glorious. And I tell you what, something I did think about in a previous episode. Although this is an open world game and has basically been ripped off to hell by all these other companies, one thing that I love about these games is that even though there is so much to do in that map and it's an incredibly dense world, they do not overburden you with constant prompts and stuff.
No.
Sure, there's like tutorials, but when I'm driving around, there is literally like one little letter in the corner that I can go to, or maybe a question mark.
And the rest of it is
and
you just driving around doing whatever you bloody like.
Yeah. So I do really appreciate that. I'm really enjoying... I've not seen much of the interplay between the different characters, but there have been occasions where like you get to switch between characters, and you can switch from one character to another guy.
So you haven't got to Trevor yet?
I haven't got to Trevor yet, although I played him in the prologue.
Okay.
But in the I've been switching between Franklin and Michael, and I love how when you start the game, they're like walking down the street, like, and it's just like you're like
finishing off a
hi.
conversation,
Yeah, and then literally if you switch characters, it's the same thing. One of them could be driving along, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm driving along now, or yeah, I mean, I think I booted it up the other day, and I sort of went away and came back to the screen, and like he was just walking along the street, sort of thing, like. But yeah, the density of the environments, the scale of it all, it is something else. It really is, and I'm happy to finally be playing it. But yeah, sorry, I really badly interrupted you.
No, not at all.
And
I agree with all of that. The online stuff I did with the PS3, not very much, because I But I'm enjoying it a great deal. Probably more than I'm enjoying Elite Dangerous, I have to say. And that's even with GTA 5's tedious and fucking annoying the amount of time it takes to get things kicked off. It just takes so long. Jesus.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it can take like a couple of minutes once you've selected your mission for it to find a server somewhere that's going to kick it off, or however it matchmakes, or however it starts stuff. It's a little bit dull. But when you get in there, oh my god, there's co-op missions, there's the heists you can play with online people.
You have to have leveled up, don't you?
Yeah, but not very far.
Do the heist?
Really, not very far.
Do you level up quite quickly?
You do at the start.
Right.
And you level up the more of that stuff you do, but there's the equivalent of galactic things. What's that thing in what was that thing in Elite we did a couple of weeks ago where we'd arrived too late and Rob got 600k for it or something?
Community goals.
So there's community goals.
Oh, really? They've got...
Yeah, so there's community goals, missions, co-op missions you can do with people, races you can do, team deathmatch, capture the flag, last granny murderer, standing. So all the standard FPS game modes, a ton of race modes. You can do parachuting races, boat races, push bike races, which are just hilarious.
Can you do running races? Can you do running races?
I've not seen those. Wouldn't they just be deathmatch of some type?
Well, no, because I just imagine like that they've transposed a lot of the things you get up to in the single player, and so far in the single player, I have not killed any grannies. I have played tennis badly. I have hosed down aliens while tripped off my face with a minigun. I have raced to the beach this really angry man-hating dyke, and I have and I've done I've been tow trucking.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are the sort of activities
not really
I've been
doing
getting
those
up
in
to.
the online one.
Fair enough.
It's less story driven. Although you do get calls from people saying right now to go and do this, and that's pretty good. And
I've also walked a dog and pimped my ride accordingly.
I've played tennis with Radis. We've played golf a couple of times. The golf is extremely entertaining.
Yeah,
we've
really
done the
want to try
parachute
that.
stuff. We've done loads of races. The races are really good fun.
I love the plane stuff. Was awesome.
And we've done a load of plane stuff as well.
stuff.
Yeah. It's just when you've got 30 people in a race racing around a city, it's as insane as you think that's going to be. I've never really seen anything like it. I'm sure there's equivalent games that would let you do that, but not in a world where you kind of know stuff, or when you can get out and put a sticky bomb on the road and wait for other drivers to come past and just, oops, I dropped it and it went off. Because that's what the world is. There's a lot of people argue about, you shouldn't have barged me off the track. Well, you're not playing F1, mate. What were you expecting? I want to win and it's GTA, so if I can barge you off the track, I'm going to do that. So, grr.
And there's one thing I would like to say, just because probably about half the time I've been playing GTA, I've not been doing missions. I've just been driving around going, I've been here before. Because I've been to LA and I know that that's like what it's like.
Yeah.
You know, like the hills, the seedy bars, the layout of it. I was just driving along going, man, this place is a shithole. And that's exactly what LA is like, in places. But at the same time, though, you've got like that crazy sunset, and it reminded me a lot of like Vice City, which is probably like my favourite GTA.
Yeah, it's a beautiful looking game. It was on the PS3, to be honest, but
especially when you pimp your ride and you've got like you can get like the light that goes under the
the neon thing,
underlight,
the neon thing. So you
it's I can't recommend it enough if you play GTA 4, I guess, or you're a fan of the series. I'm pretty sure it's not a game that, well, maybe it is, that newer people will come into, but you can tell they've spent...
on the Rift yet?
Sorry?
Have you tried it on the Rift yet?
Not yet.
They have put... It's got Vorpex support, I was
Is it
reading.
Vorpex one of the paid ones, though?
It is, I've got
I don't know.
Right.
I think Vireo Perception, they're they're working on GTA 5 for that,
I think, to be honest,
which is one of the free ones.
I really enjoy Elite Dangerous in the Rift, but I spend a lot of time just looking around, and I think I'd probably do that more in GTA because there's so much more to look at.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just buildings and
Buildings.
real world stuff, and Elite is a beautiful game, but I'm a little bored of the hyperspace stuff between planets.
It's a lot of black.
Yeah,
It's a lot of-
and a lot of lines that I'm
lot of
following, and I'm
nothing.
overshooting stations and stuff. And I know that's part of it, and it was part of the original to some extent, but I'd rather use that time to murder grannies and have parachute races with randoms and push bike races, just because there's a lot of laughing. Really, I don't think I've laughed as much as since we played Portal 2, which was just one of the most hilarious times. I'd laughed so much
That's
my
a
chest
great-
hurt, I thought I was going to die. It was fucking hilarious. And
I
it's kind of the
playing
same
that
here.
one co-op.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
just
awesome.
it's one of the funnest games ever. And this is the same thing. You just do crazy shit and it's just hilarious. So
Yeah, I'm definitely up for giving it a go. Matt, housemate, he's got it as well.
Yeah.
So he's been saying we should play that. But we've also been playing so much Elite,
yeah,
which I don't mind transitioning to now.
please do. I've bled that enough.
No, it's fine. No, I've been getting really like obsessed with these community goals. For me, they've kind of given me a sort of much needed narrative drive. Even though essentially you're only really doing what you would be doing anyway, the extra financial incentive, and also the fact that it's kind of just giving me a big sort of waypoint to head to, is kind of really helping me. Like, it's really been making me play it more outside of like our weekly get-togethers. Yeah, I've just got really got back into it in a big way, and all this, on the eve of the Power Play expansion, which I think is going to change it all over again. And I think the community goals at least are kind of certainly making it head in that direction already, because I've just been paying attention to the Galnet newsfeed, and by reading that kind of points you where to go. Although there is an official forum that will tell you about the community goals that are currently going on. I mean, right now we've got one that's based around the is it the HR 706, or has that one just finished?
Well, I mean, I think the thing is the Galnet is the source of all that, and then the information is taken off. It's spread around elsewhere. I mean, the good thing is that the devs are doing a pretty good job of trying to steer the community to places where they can interact with one another, rather than just letting them loose in this massive sandbox, which is what it is. And obviously, the new Power Play stuff is going to add extra layers to that rather than replace the community goals. They're going to be sort of parallel with them. So
Really?
No, yeah, the community goals are still going to carry on. The Power Play stuff is completely independent of that. So the main thing about the Power Play is that there are it's not just the main factions in the game are obviously the Empire, the Alliance, and the Federation, but underneath that there will be lots of other smaller factions, like certain senators within the Alliance, or a miners' confederation, or a bunch of smugglers, or a pirate faction, or just a bunch of people that are anarchists or communists or whatever. And you can ally yourself with these minor factions, and these minor factions will have political or military or economic goals that they want to achieve. And you can be part of that or not, but the fact is, if you sign up for them, you will get benefits from that faction of one thing or another, like preferential prices, or equipment or something at a cheaper rate, or extra support for this, that, and the other. But you will, if you're aligned with these factions, you will then be able to you will be a target for opposing factions, of which other players are a member, and you can defect from one faction to another, but that will have consequences. And so they're trying to, in the they've obviously got in their long-term strategy for how this game is going to plan out. This is just another one of those things of layering stuff onto the framework that they released in December. So this is the next layer of the onion, if you like, to make it make a dense product. I imagine I was discussing with someone on Facebook today because there was one of these periodic Elite Dangerous versus Star Citizen discussions that I say discussions, that's giving it a very mature term. One of these Star Citizen's got us some money. The main thing is that Elite Dangerous is kind of, I think you said, Bobby, it's like an early access thing, and in some ways that's right, because it's like, here's the game and we're going to start adding bits to it as more people join in, whereas Star Citizen's going, we're going to release with all the things, and that there is a fundamentally different approach from that. When Star Citizen eventually comes out, because of course it is coming out,
Let's not forget that.
It will have all these things that Elite Dangerous aspires to at the moment, or many of the things that Elite Dangerous aspires to at the moment. And I think it's kind of nice being able to be in Elite Dangerous and seeing it layered on, but it's kind of a gamble, because a lot of people will say, can't be bothered, and get bored and leave. So I don't know, but I like the way the power play's going. I like the way the game is going. It's still quite fun for me. I'm probably going to maybe give it a bit of a miss for a couple of weeks and come back to it later, but I'm really enjoying it at the moment.
Yeah, like the sort of thing that's been going on right now, there's a couple of community goals kind of in effect at the moment, and there's one called the Art of War, which is to do with this Senator Patrius. He wants to set up a high-tech economy in this station, and there was an actual player group who had decided to set up a blockade around this station to prevent Imperial players from actually doing this community goal. I missed them, luckily, when I did it, and I got on the bottom tier, so I've got 50 grand coming to me if I log in later. But that's interesting. And then there's another community goal at the moment, you see, where it says Imperial forces have launched an attack on Volungu, and so they're asking people to fight the Empire. Now, I'm friendly with the Empire right now, so I was like, if I do that, I'm not going to be able to do this mission, but I can go in there and grief other players who are not...
No, you're not griefing. You're playing in the rules that the developers have allowed you to play.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
but this is the point. It's emergent gameplay. The players, there is much more content being driven by the players. Some of which other players don't like very much at all. But there is a lot of this. There is a lot of this blockading, attacking the other factions and so on. The player groups are just taking it upon themselves, and now player groups are starting to war amongst themselves, and have actually been since the game released. It's not really of the scale of EVE, and neither do the developers want it to be on that scale. Huge corporations with because the instances don't support that kind of
and not real money either.
No,
so
it's not real money, and I don't want it to be like EVE, and a lot of players don't want it to be like
I
EVE.
don't.
But the principle of players banding together and fighting other groups of players or NPCs or having an effect on the universe is there, and the devs are only going to support that, and I think it's a great way for it to go forward, because players are having an effect on the universe in which they are playing in, which is terrific.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still interested in playing, even if it's like, just occasionally, because that's what I like about it. It offers this massive world, but you can kind of, you get out of it what you put in.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's very easy to see it as a bit of a treadmill sometimes, but I think as long as you don't overdo it.
I've just bought a Union Jack skin for my Viper, so I've been playing for a while.
For me, it's very similar to like the Sims in that way, is that you can just drop in and play it whenever. It's like DCS or Assetto Corsa or something. I can just, if I fancy doing it for 5 minutes or 5 hours, I can do it, and it doesn't matter. You don't forget anything. Or
someone was telling me that it's pointless to play unless you can stick in like 30 hours a week or something. I think that's such bullshit, because I can play for 5 or 6 hours a week, if that. But I feel much more comfortable. Ironically, I feel much more comfortable playing this game, which is so. Because it's just a sandbox, I can go in, I can earn some money, I can shoot some stuff, and I can leave, than I do trying to play an MMO or something like Dragon Age Inquisition, or God forbid Mass Effect 4 if it's like that, because those things have threads that must be followed, and this one doesn't. It's very easy for me to just drop in, and I feel very comfortable with it. I mean, it's end of April now, and I've been playing since January, and I don't feel that tired with it. The only reason I'm thinking of taking a break is just because there are other things I do want to play, but it's not because I'm torn with Elite, you know.
That's a good thing.
It will still be there when you get back.
Yeah, it's great.
And much improved, as it was for me. You know, I mean, I played it over Christmas. I came back in March when the Wings thing had updated, and these community goals that I didn't realise I'd get quite so hooked into. And it's been night and day now. You know, I had a little bit of experience. I still don't know what I'm doing when it comes to powering order of power and stuff, but you know, I know what the guns do. I know how to fly my ship pretty much, and I've got a cool looking Viper now, looking to maybe upgrade to a Vulture if I make enough money, and it's all good. And Elite is still awesome. So have you been playing anything then, Pat?
I've been playing Trine 3, which is actually early access.
Is that out?
Yeah,
it's early access.
How is it?
Oh, cool.
It's fucking brilliant. It's great. It is essentially the last two Trine games, but they've like I said before, they were 2D games, but it was 2.5D. They're 3D games, but they're 2.5D, so you could only move along like a scroll from left to right. But it's kind of cool how they've done it actually. In the first level, I think of 2. You're the knight and you're walking through this kind of beautiful kind of sunset village, and they sort of did the same thing with the first level of Trine 3, and as you're walking along you've got this little wooden fence behind you, and I think it was similar in the Trine 2, but then something sort of starts happening in the background, and I just nudged up on my thumbstick, and it smashed through the gate, and it's basically it was kind of like the Wizard of Oz transition when everything goes colour. It was like, okay, here's another dimension. You can go back this way now. But it was really cool how they did it. But yeah, it is essentially the same game. It's the same kind of abilities that the players have. You know, the wizard can conjure these boxes, and he can use telekinesis to move that or other objects in the level, or in the knight can use his shield to kind of do a gliding jump, and you can also smash stuff and use his shield to kind of reflect projectiles, and the thief obviously has her bow and arrow, and she can do the kind of grapple hook things. So they are the same abilities of the previous one, but just more. And yeah, it's great. I think it's only 2 levels. I haven't actually finished it yet. I think it's only 2 levels in the early access, with more to follow. And there are a few things missing. There are nothing massively annoying, but like there was a couple of bits where I had to go into the menu and go back to the last checkpoint because a spike pit or whatever hadn't killed you. But
how many levels are going to be in the final game?
I'm not sure, to be honest, mate. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, okay. But when is it due for release? Are they just taking their time with it?
I think they're just going to be releasing levels as they're done.
Okay.
But yeah, I think they're actually aiming for it to be not too far away. Let's check.
Right. I'm just going to turn all my lights out so I too can sit in darkness. I'm feeling a bit.
But yeah, basically, it's a great little game. It's more of the same if you like the last 2. It's absolutely great.
On the Trine 3 page, I noticed they said they went early access because this is their first move towards 3D gameplay. So is that like quite a big difference then? Because they're obviously concerned that they don't want to mess with things too much. With their formula, it does kind of change things a bit. I don't think it's that massive a deal, though. To be honest, the game looks pretty much like the previous ones, except you can now go around corners and go. You can go forward and back rather than just. But a lot of it is still on that kind of linear path, and yeah, I don't think it really makes a huge amount of difference. To be honest. I think like in that Castle of Illusion remake, that was essentially a 2D game, but like there'd be bits where you'd sort of go round a corner or something, just to sort of
it's
give you that
instant.
feeling of its a real place, but not compromising the 2D gameplay sort of thing.
Exactly, yeah, and that's kind of what they've done.
Cool.
But yeah, no, it's great. I really recommend checking it out.
No, I've got both. I've got the first two. I've just not got round to it yet.
Really? Those games are great. Those
I know.
they've just got such a good feel to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like the atmosphere it's awesome. It kind of reminds me of like I don't know, kind of Sunday television when I was a kid. Things like the Storyteller, you know, the Jim Henson thing and stuff like that. It just kind of reminds me of that kind of just kind of cool, really beautifully drawn worlds, and just loads of cool atmosphere. But it's that whole kind of like storytelling sort of style to it, where the narration kind of follows you all the way through the game. And yeah, I just love the feeling of those games. As well as everything else, the puzzle gameplay mechanics and stuff. So.
Cool. Well, while we're talking about 2D games, I'm going to have to mention Hearthstone. Although it's not even really a 2D game, it's a card game. But yeah, it recently came out on iOS and Android, and it's kind of taken over my life, really. I know that sounds like a really bad thing, but it's kind of cool because, like, it's perfect it's turn-based, yeah. So you can sort of do other things while you're playing it, like, there is a bit of a learning curve, but I've been playing it on my commute. I've been playing it everywhere, but they've done a really nice conversion for the iOS. Like you sort of your deck sort of shrinks down to a corner, and you just tap it and you can pull up cards by like hovering over them. I've just been because I'd already played this a little bit on the PC, but for me, I thought it was a great game, but I don't want to sit at my grand's worth of PC and play a fucking card game, you know? It's a great game, I understand that, but now it's on the phone, I feel like I can really put some time into it. Obviously, you get to play as the different classes.
Isn't your phone
that you
worth
have.
about $1,000 as well, though?
Well, true, but yeah, but it's a touch screen and it's in my pocket, so I don't want to play GTA on that, really. I don't know. It's perfect for it's perfect touchscreen game, and it's really high production value as well. Like when you get a pack of cards, it all spins around and animates and stuff. And the effects, like when you play cards, that's all really cool as well. But yeah, you play as all the different classes. I've just been sort of trying to get to play with all the classes. There are daily quests, so at the moment I've just finished one for winning 2 games as a druid, and I've got another one that says just win 7 games, and then there'll be another one saying try and win 2 games as a druid or a rogue or as a warrior or a shaman. And so that's basically just trying you to get round and sort of learn all the cards. But then you kind of have to win a few games to actually get all the cards for that class, and then basically as you're doing these quests, you're earning money, like in-game currency, which you can then spend on buying new cards. So buying packs of cards that have like epic cards in them, or going into the arena where you get to play with a random deck of various cards that are in there, or you can use that money to unlock wings in the expansion packs that they've made, which are single player games, but you are guaranteed to get new cards for your deck in them. So I've been playing since the game came out, about a week now. I think I'm basically winning every other game I play. I'm always playing online ranked games. You start off at rank 25. I've got to rank 20. 20 I think is the lowest rank that you can't go down ranks for losing games. So I'm basically just stuck there because I haven't won enough subsequent games for me to rank up.
So you're playing other people, are you? Or
yeah, randoms.
Okay, and how much money do you have to pay for this?
Nothing. I have not spent any money.
No. How much money do you have to pay for this?
I haven't spent any money. No, I tell you what. The only thing I did get was
there we go.
I bought 2 packs of cards because I already had some credit on my iTunes account.
So the money that you can pay through our lovely microtransaction model, what does real money get you then? Is it just around? Is it RNG stuff? Is it just you get random packs and you get shit in it?
You buy packs of cards. You might get cards you've already got, but you can. There is a crafting mechanic that allows you to grind those cards into this blue dust, which you can then use to create to craft cards that you specifically want. But obviously, that can be a bit of a grind. It takes a lot of that dust to make cards. I've not done any of the crafting yet. All I've done is I've gone through and I played a bunch of single player games so that I could basically at the start I think you only get access to one class and you unlock the classes by beating them. And then once you've done that, you can go into a game with half a deck and try and win against people online. You won't. So you have to play a few games. Well, no, but once you've won enough games that you've unlocked a whole deck, and you get them by leveling up whether you win or lose. So once you've played a certain amount of games with that class, you will have the full deck. Then you will be able to make a balanced deck that you stand a chance of winning against. But the thing is, there's a lot. I've been doing a lot of reading about this game, and there's many different sort of things to take into account aside from just laying the cards. Your character also has an ability that you can trigger instead of playing cards, and you have to take into account tempo and making sure that you've got more cards in your hand than they have. So there's real strategy and depth to it. There's a reason that people have got really into it. I've had quite a lot of encouragement from my housemate, to be honest, but he's just like, oh, do you want a game? And it's like, oh, that's just going to be so pointless because he's been playing it for like 2 years and he's just got like all these cards that I haven't even seen before. But right now the ranked
like at all.
No, I know, but the ranked games have been very fair, to be honest, and it's very gratifying when I've won. So I definitely get a kick out of it on that basis. But yeah, it's Blizzard doing what they do best, by just doing stuff better than anybody else. And the collectible nature of it is compelling, and the different abilities that you can and the synergies that you get. It often feels like I'm playing a class in D&D, because I play this thing that you'll be able, like the druid, for example. He has cards where if you've already got a beast character laid down, it changes this card into something else, and then you can then buff them, and all of a sudden they're this fucking force to be reckoned with, and you can attack the enemy with that. But I'd certainly give it a go, because honestly, you don't. I know I wouldn't be put off by the whole free to play thing, because it really is free to play. In my experience.
Okay.
Roger. Okay. Cool.
If I hadn't paid for games that I want to play, I probably still wouldn't give it a look. I understand why people do, and I think they've done the business model well. Actually, I know that being able to buy stuff had a bit of a rep with this, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I was just like, what do I spend my money on? And by that I mean my in-game currency, rather than, because you could just go, oh, I'll just chuck 40 quid into it, and you'd unlock all the wings to the Nax Ramus or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, you can do that, but I'm not like that. I'm the sort of person that gets Plants vs Zombies 2, and I just played through the whole of that. Didn't buy any of the extra plants. Did all the missions, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, and the connectivity's been quite good actually. It's been a bit choppy on the train, but most of the time, like a couple of times I've had it where it's been my turn to go, and the bloody thing is not doing anything, and then all of a sudden it's like I've run out of time and it's their turn, and I'm like, fuck, I didn't have a chance to have my go. Which I did worry about because this isn't a game where it's not like Hero Academy where you have your go, then you send it, and then
Damn you, Stratford tunnels. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all that. So but no, really impressed with Hearthstone, and it's cool to finally be able to play it and pronounce its name at the same time.
Oh, well done, mate. Respect.
I've got it drilled into me now. I'm actually playing it, and I give a shit. So I'm actually saying it properly. Yeah, cool. This has been the Not Playing Podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk. You can contact us on email at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes for this show at notlistening.co.uk. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, then please do give us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
I suck at Call of Duty. There's no hope for me. I suck at Call of Duty. I suck at Call of Duty. There's no hope for me. I suck at Call of Duty.
So has anyone been playing anything else, or are we good to
No,
leave it
but I
there,
just bought 14 Star Wars games, so I
Uh-oh.
think I know what I'm doing for the rest of my holiday.
I did that with
Yeah.
the Humble Bundle the other week.
To be
They
fair,
had a good Humble
it's
Bundle one.
14 games that I only owned on like consoles. I've never had any of these on PC.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I had a couple of them on PC, but most of them. So,
Oh, is it like the X-Wing stuff?
No, it's like Battlefronts, Dark Forces,
Oh,
Jedi
Republic
Knight,
Commando's in there as well, isn't it?
Republic Commando, Starfighter.
might just have to get that. I'm never gonna play
the
it.
Clone
Watching
Wars,
it.
Republic Heroes, Empire at War, Knights of the Old
I have
Republic, and
got-
the Force Unleashed games.
I have got most of these already, I think, because of that Humble Bundle I did. Yeah, I've got the Force Unleashed. I've got both of them. I'm actually looking through this, going, oh yeah, I didn't realise I had that one. Yeah, I've got Battlefront 2. I haven't got the old X-Wing games, but they look really pony now, don't they?
It was a glorious time. They do look terrible, though, yeah. But it was a glorious
I sort of
time.
want to play
It
those
was
Dark
gross,
Forces games again, to be honest.
Oh, Dark
Which
Forces.
do
I played
very
Jedi Knight.
early Quake 1 sort of graphics.
I wouldn't
but-
mind doing Jedi Academy again.
Yeah, that was great, wasn't it?
The multiplayer on that was really good.
Yep.
I did Outcast. That was the one
Pushing
I
people
played.
off the stuff. That was excellent.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was funny.
So we're all fans of the trailer, yeah? The for the movie.
Yeah, why not? Looks great. Looks really good.
Have we slipped into the other podcast here?
We were talking about Star
Oh,
Wars.
yeah. And for Rogue One? Have you seen the stuff for Rogue One?
No.
That's really rough though, isn't it? It's just he probably did that in his bedroom, didn't he?
Okay.
Well, it's just like a forest, and then you see like the Death Star,
Yeah.
like vaguely, like taking up the entire screen,
Yeah.
sort of. Yeah, it's cool. I'm well up for that. The anthology series, they're calling it now.
Okay.
All of the old stuff that's, well, the sort of stuff that happened in parallel or whatever. Anyway, shall we leave it there then?
All right.
Are we all done?
I think we're done.
Cool. All right, let me just do the end bit then.
До свидания.
Cool.
Loopy doopy.
Potato. Latvia. That's a
You're gonna
Reddit
get-
joke. That's a Reddit joke.
That is such a Reddit joke.
Today we have talked about potato. No potato. No potato in Skyrim anymore.
Only in Latvia. Do you not
Only
pay
in
for potato?
Latvia do you get free potato. No potato in Skyrim.
It's part of marriage ceremony.
And special love evening for marriage ceremony. Wow. Bit of casual racism to finish it all off. Excellent. Okay.